handy singer's microphone here. But yes, I'm Laura Gainor. I'm the Communications Manager for Junior Achievement of Wisconsin. And I'll kind of walk you through my career experience, how I've gotten to where I am today in my career, as well as want to be as interactive as possible. So feel free to shout out, ask a question. Love to kind of hear personal stories or questions about individual social media channels as I go through the presentation. So feel free to stop me and ask a particular question. And if you want, Mark had mentioned you can tweet during the presentation. Obviously, in my experience in different presentations, people always tweet and all that fun stuff to engage. And you can tweet to Stritch U, your Stritch University Twitter handle, and the hashtag #BrandU. So as I mentioned, I'm the Communications Manager for Junior Achievement of Wisconsin, and just kind of raise of hands, does everybody here who knows what Junior Achievement is? We got a few, good. Any happen to be any JA alums that have had Junior Achievement programs in school and high school? And my Twitter handle is Laura Gainor, and then my LinkedIn account there. And where's Alex? You tweeted to me today. Thank you. I'm glad your teacher thought this was more important than your tweet today. But so Junior Achievement, what we do is we actually provide, and I wish I had this programming when I was growing up. So we actually teach financial literacy for students. And where our office is at the J.A. Coles Education Center, we actually have two programs directly at our facility there called J.A. Finance Park and J.A. BizTown, where students actually come and they get to have their own pretend jobs. It's actually really cute. I mean, some fifth graders come in and they wear their suit and tie because they get to be CEO of the day for the day of their business. They all have different responsibilities, just like you would in the real world. So again, I'm sure all of you wish that you had that training growing up too, so you learn how to manage your budget, paying your bills, how much your kids cost, and me knowing now that I have two babies and how expensive that can be. So it's very costly. So it's some great programming. And here I'm going to show you just a quick video to kind of show you a little bit about what Junior Achievement is.
I want to be an interpreter for sign language.
Maybe try to be a lawyer.
I would like to run like a little cafe.
Junior Achievement gives young people the skills they need to own their economic success, plan for their future, and make smart academic choices. Our volunteers help students with financial literacy, work readiness, and entrepreneurship.
And it's really helping me understand how it's going to be in the future.
So Junior Achievement is actually a volunteer-based program. So we have volunteers that come in and teach a specific program. So we have training at our facility for the volunteers, and then they get to teach the program, and obviously it's all volunteer-based, so they're donating their time to all these students to help financial literacy. And my job as the Communications Manager for Junior Achievement is to tell all of you what Junior Achievement is, to get interest for Junior Achievement, creating content. So when I applied for the job, I had no clue what Junior Achievement was. I found the job, and I wanted to learn more about it. I actually found out one of my good friends is a volunteer. And just kind of briefly, my responsibility at Junior Achievement is to create this content. So I go down to the Education Center, capture these videos of these students that you see here, share it, get our contacts to share it. So just like Cardinal Stritch, they were a great sponsor for us for one of our events. And they were tweeting on behalf of us, sharing content. So part of my job is to get in the hearts and minds of all of you, to get you to share all of the content about Junior Achievement. So, kind of raising hands. Who is on Twitter? Who uses Twitter personally? Great. Who uses LinkedIn? Who has their LinkedIn profile now, since it's a class requirement? And that's the most valuable tool if you want to, for networking, of course. And then who uses Instagram? And then I hear all the younger generation are using Snapchat. Snapchatters. I hate Snapchat, but I know the younger people are using it. But so just kind of kick off for all of you to be tweeting to Stritch U, BrandU. If you just want to send a few tweets, a couple tweets, kind of let me know. I'm not in presentation mode, but who is your most valuable connection on Twitter? Who do you follow the most that you follow on a daily basis? that kind of influences you, and who's the one person on Twitter that inspires you the most, and then who on Twitter has maybe changed your life, might be helping you get a job. Just kind of showing the value of networking and who these individuals are. So I was curious to get your thoughts on that. And then my career experience, just to kind of quickly walk through how I got to where I am today. So I went to college, University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee. I graduated double major in fine arts photography and journalism and advertising. I had gone into UWM just with first photography, then I got to thinking, okay, what am I going to do with this? After school, I really liked my advertising classes, so I decided to double major. And then after graduation, during college, I had internships. How many people here have an internship at school? You're off to an excellent start, because that's kind of how you get your first jobs, is the connections that you have, for sure. So I was an intern at United Ad Workers, and is anyone familiar with what United Ad Workers is? It's an advertising club in Milwaukee, so if you're interested in marketing, advertising, I highly recommend that you join. Ad Workers is actually free for students, and they're actually kicking off a mentorship program this year too, where you actually get to have a professional in the advertising field. And Milwaukee has some of the best professionals in the advertising field, so you can actually get a mentor where you get to meet with them twice per year. They tell you about their job and give you some tips. So UnitedAdWorkers.com, I recommend checking that out. But through that internship, I got to kind of get in the door of 20 different agencies. Since all these people are members of Ad Workers, that's how I got my internship at BBK, which is right in your backyard. So it was excellent. And after graduation, I didn't have a job, had nothing lined up. So I said, hey, what the heck? I'm going to move to Charlotte, North Carolina. I had never been there in my life and just decided to move. And went to an ad club event in Charlotte, and just kind of showing the value of your connections and networking. I didn't have a job lined up. I got a job as a waitress. Moved down to Charlotte, found a roommate on Craigslist, which actually ended up being pretty safe. We're still friends. And I went to a networking event, and I met Michael Greenspan, and that's how I got my job at Greenspan Advertising. And then I got laid off after 2.5 years of working there, is when the rocky road kind of started with the economy. And I got a job at Yodel, and through that job, just kind of networking and figuring out that job. Long story short, got married, and then I decided I wanted to go with my passion, and I figured now was the time to launch my own business, and I launched Blue Whale Photography, and I'm going to actually walk you through, I missed the slide here, but so I'll talk about my internship here. Actually my internship, and then how many people are paid for those internships that you have? How many are unpaid? Great. But I made $0 my first 2 internships. I actually came to BBK, sat there 5 days a week and made nothing. I'm sure everyone there was like, what's this girl doing? Why is she? But got the most valuable experience that I needed today. And then some tips for all of you that don't have internships. I highly recommend seeking opportunities for internships. Don't wait for them to come to you or to be posted online. It's actually the director of Ad Workers says she doesn't even post an internship opportunity, because businesses that are seeking opportunities, they want people to come to them. They want those people that are the go-getters. They're actually going to go above and beyond and find those opportunities. So how many people are thinking about launching their own business or kicking up on the side? Great. How many have a huge budget? How many have a lot of money to launch that business? When I launched Blue Whale Photography, of course, I had $0. I had just gotten married, and I was just kind of really passionate. I really wanted to kick it off. I wanted to launch it. And so what do? Since I had no budget, this was when social media was kind of really kicking off, I guess you could say. So to launch the business, I created a website, a blog, because I knew I had to, as I mentioned, create content and get people to share the content, get them sharing it to their networks. That way people hear about my business, because obviously if I just keep telling you, hey, I have a business, I can only reach so many people. So I created my website, blog, a Facebook page, Twitter account, YouTube channel, and then I launched some events to kind of get the community in Charlotte aware of my business, and had like a Christmas kickoff event where people could come, get their pictures taken, and of course, what are they going to do? They're going to post those pictures on their social media channels that have the Blue Whale Photography logo on it. So soon people were hearing about my business, going to my website, contacting me to have their photos taken. I'm just going to show you some of the content, and I've been really lucky in my experience. I've had classes obviously for photography, design, so I highly recommend while you're in school getting the most versatile experience that you can, because because I have design experience, photography. So basically I was able to do my own business all under one roof, where some people need to hire somebody to do the video content, they need to hire somebody to take the pictures. So get as most experience that you can, so that way thinking about it, you can kind of pick, I mean, everyone now is such an entrepreneurial world, people need to kind of figure out how to do this on their own. So these are just some examples. I actually just had but I don't do my business as much anymore, but I'm running an event for junior achievement, and I did a photography session here a couple weekends ago, where 100% of the proceeds went to junior achievement. So kind of just showing you some of the collateral that I did to kick off my business. So now kind of getting into the resume. How many people here are currently applying for jobs? So I know you guys have the requirement in your class to do a paper resume, HR examples, but how many people think that they're just going to send in a regular paper resume when you apply for your next job? Okay. So I just want to kind of walk through the paper resume versus virtual resume. So how are you going to stand out above a crowd? Because obviously a lot of HR representatives at businesses are getting tons of resumes. My previous job right before junior achievement, I worked for GMR Marketing, and I managed a team, and I think when we posted our internship, we got over 250 resumes just for an internship. So this wasn't even, a higher position. So kind of think of, obviously, when I get a resume, when I'm hiring somebody, I'm going to look at the one that not only just does their necessary paper resume to HR, but to the, whether it's a presentation, showing that you know how to do the job. Sorry, let me actually show you my presentation. So after I had launched Blue Up Photography in Charlotte, I think it was 3 months in or so, my husband, right after we got married, he said, "Oh, I'm never moving to Milwaukee in my life." And then 3 months later, he got asked to move to Milwaukee. He grew up in Miami, and so when I was thinking, okay, I just launched this business, we're moving to Milwaukee, I have to get a job because I can't just do the business and live off of that in Milwaukee. So I thought, okay, how am I gonna get a job up in Milwaukee? I haven't been back in there in a while. I don't have the close connections maybe that I used to, but I had ad workers, those connections, and it had been 5 years since I lived here. And I was looking for jobs, and Comet Branding, is anybody familiar with Comet Branding in Milwaukee? They're now Hanson Dodge. But anyway, so Comet Branding had posted a tweet saying, "Hey, we're hiring a social media strategist, apply here." So I was like, okay, I haven't been in Milwaukee in a while. Obviously, I know there's a lot of competition in Milwaukee that is going to want this job. So I thought, okay, what am I going to do creatively to get their attention? I can't just send my resume. I know they're not going to look at me. So I had taken their Comet Branding logo and taken pictures. Anybody familiar with Foursquare? People don't really use it anymore at all, really. I haven't used it in forever. But essentially, I got my job because of Foursquare. So to give you a little bit of background, they had tweeted that they were hiring, and I didn't want to just send my resume, as I mentioned. So I created a poster of the Comet Branding logo, and obviously the job is a social media strategist, so I need to show them, hey, I know how to do the job. I can promote you. I know marketing. I know photography, video. I basically had to show them I know how to do these skills. So when you're applying for a job, think of what those skills are that you need to show them, because what they want to see is that you know how to do the job. Because it's so hard for them to look at a paper resume. Because you can come in for an interview and it's like, oh, they look so much better on paper actually than in person, how they communicate. So you really need to kind of wrap your arms around showing them what you can do. So I took a picture, took the Comet Branding logo. I was coming up to Milwaukee to find a place to live. So I used Foursquare. I took a picture of the Comet Branding logo at these various locations from my trip to Charlotte up to Milwaukee. And I posted, and I think it was over a weekend. So each post, I tweeted to @Comet Branding, here's your logo at X place. I used the hashtag Laura Gainor to Milwaukee. So that way when they got into the office on Monday, they were looking at their Twitter stream, like, oh, what's this girl doing? She's applying for this job. She's trekking all throughout Milwaukee. She was tweeting to us at our office, blah, blah, blah. And then I got back to Charlotte, and I was like, okay, what am I going to do with all these different pictures? So what I did was I didn't send them a resume. I didn't email them. I sent them a tweet. I sent them a tweet with this. Is everyone familiar with SlideShare? SlideShare is actually a tool that you can use to virtually present your PowerPoint presentations, essentially. And again, I wasn't at a current job, so I had the opportunity to publicly apply for this job. So they got this tweet and they got this, on Monday morning, they got this presentation. I said, Common Branding, I'd love to work for you, I'd love to join the team. Here's my resume. So they're at their desk Monday morning, going through this presentation. So I wanted to kind of show them who I am virtually, kind of give a background, introduce them to me, just kind of some personal information as well in a creative way. So I was born in Eau Claire, went to Castle Manorville High School, went to UWM, as I mentioned, for college, double majored in fine arts photography, and here's some of my photography work that I did. I was an intern for an ad worker, just showing them some of my work experience, my internships, so that way they got a visual representation, like, oh, this girl really knows what she's doing. This is going to be the job of a social media strategist, to produce content on behalf of Common Branding and their clients. So again, showing that I had these skills and knew how to do the work. My internship at BBK, moved to Charlotte. Here's some of the photography I did in Charlotte. Worked for Greenspun Advertising. I was really, really lonely. I had no friends. Again, I had met everyone on Craigslist, so I bought my dog Gracie, who's alive and well, and upset that we now have 2 babies at home. I went to, as I mentioned, some ad club events in Charlotte. I was a communications chair at Ad2 Charlotte, so I can't stress it enough. Go above and beyond and find those clubs, organizations that you can become a part of, because all those are very valuable connections. It's not only build your resume, but how you can get jobs these days is through connections. I met my husband at a bar in Charlotte, Solstice there. As I mentioned, I got laid off from Greenspun Advertising, and I went to work at Yodel, which is an online marketing company. So again, getting those different career skills, different types of skills. Married Brian Gainor in Charlotte, Honeymoon and Carnival Splendor, and there I was like, okay, when I get home, I think I'm going to quit my job and launch a business, which was scary. I'm sure our families were kind of freaking out. So there's Blue Wheel Photography was born. So again, I just got excited, got this passion. I created the website, designed all the collaterals, and created a business. And nowadays, there's so many entrepreneurs out there. When you hear about all these younger people are starting businesses, obviously they want to be making more money. Everyone's trying to think fast ways that they can make money. Become the next Mark Zuckerberg, I guess you could say. So again, Common Branding is going through this presentation, and it's me showing them my experience. This is how I became addicted to social media. Hey, I'm moving to Milwaukee. I'd love to work for you. And this is where Common Branding comes in. So here's the team. I said I would love to join the Common Branding team. Here's the Common Branding team at that time. And then I went and showed them, kind of summarizing, here's all the social media channels I use to get your attention. And as I mentioned, here's some of the pictures, my Foursquare check-ins that I had done throughout Milwaukee. Had some fun with it. I went to my old house near UWM that I lived in college. Just introducing myself, showing my personality, my skills. Got the overshare. It's just funny looking back at Foursquare because I haven't used this in forever, but you got badges. I took a video of myself, tweeted the video to them from outside their office. Kind of creepy. Went to AJ Bombers, of course, took my photo in the chair. That was when, as you know, AJ Bombers was getting a lot of hype at that time. They still are. And then showing this presentation, as I was creating this, Common Branding was seeing all the tweets. So in my presentation, I actually got to include some real-time reactions from them. So here's the 2 owners of Common Branding. Wild Organic looks like the Common Branding logo. Had a nice tour this weekend. What do you think, Sarah Meany? And Sarah said, this is getting more interesting pick by pick. So this is before I sent them the slideshow. They had this reaction already, and then I said, here's my application, would love an interview, and gave them links, of course, to my social media channels. And after that, I got a Skype interview from Charlotte, I think just a couple days after that, and then 10 days later, I moved up to Milwaukee, unpacked our things that weekend, went to their office on Monday, and got hired right on the spot. I think started that next day, so I had no in-between time, but was very lucky and fortunate to get a job right away. So any thoughts on the presentation? Is anybody currently creating kind of a resume, or kind of feel free to shout out any thoughts that you have or questions maybe about the presentation or anything that you're currently looking to do. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Would you recommend that we would kind of research the corporate culture or the culture of the business before, say?
Excellent point, yeah. Because after I got this, my brother-in-law actually was like, oh, awesome, I want to do something. But really definitely know your audience before you post something like this, because if it's an accounting job or a doctor job, it might come off as too playful. So obviously this was something like a marketing job. So definitely know your audience and know what from the job description that you're applying for, okay, here's are the skills. So I need to show professional. I wish I had my brother-in-law's presentation because he had done something similar to apply. So really it's just kind of, not think of it as a social media ad, but really this is just a virtual way for you to send your presentation. So definitely know your audience because it might come off as, again, too playful or not the right fit. So they'll look at the other resume that was more fit for that specific position. Does that help you? Yeah.
Laura, after getting the job, did you happen to find out whether there were 2 or 3 other candidates, or were they just going old school and it really stood out?
Yeah, so there's a couple other people, and this was kind of when social media. So after I had done this, I got picked up by PR Week, and when I sent that slideshow presentation, I had no clue what I was going to do, and now it's up to over 76,000 views. So I was just freaking out at home. I was like, oh gosh, didn't know what I was presentation to do. So there's other people that had done, different things, and after that was kind of required. It's kind of when it became required for people, like, oh yeah, I need to do something different. I need to have good connections. So yeah, I'm not sure kind of what other people were doing, but not to this extreme, I guess you could say, because then it was good PR for comment because it got picked up in PR Week that I was hired. I got interviewed. There was a bunch of publications in Milwaukee had interviewed me and featured the story. So not only did the hire me get someone, but it was great PR for them because they're just a small business. So it helped them kind of grow and be aware and get more clients in the Milwaukee area as well. But on that note, I just want to show you an example of how somebody else got a job. Is anybody familiar with the Google? Here it is, the Google job experiment. So this was around the same time, again, there was kind of a big trend, people trying to do creative ways to get hired. One student, when I was doing ad workers, had actually gone to the business that they wanted to apply for. They went to the bathroom and they left this wallet in there, and then someone found this wallet and brought it to the person that ID was in the wallet, and here that person had gone to the bathroom, created this fake wallet with the ID of the person that they wanted to apply to, and so this person got the wallet, and the guy said, this isn't my wallet, but he opened it up, and it was somebody's resume, hey, I want to work for you, showing some of their career experience, so some fun creative ways to get it. This is actually another one that someone had done a Google job experiment, which I'll let the video kind of tell you. These people are seeing these ads up on the top. But just another really creative example that got people's attention to, again, show them that they're a creative thinker. So once they get to an ad agency, they know that they have that creative mind to do the job that they need them to. And also show you, where am I hearing when I was at GMR Marketing, I loved my job, my career, but obviously I have 2 babies. So I have a 2-year-old and a 9-month-old, and I went back to work after the second maternity leave, and I was really thinking I really want more time with them, and I got lucky and found everybody from a Big Shoes Network, the online site that posts jobs. Definitely look at Big Shoes Network if you're looking for jobs. I think Big Shoes had posted the comment job, but Junior Achievement had posted this job, the communications manager, on Big Shoes as well. And so when I was applying for this job, again, I got to thinking, I really want this job. I need to show them, obviously I know what I'm doing. I've worked for GMR Marketing. I did this for a living with my clients to do content marketing, communications. I didn't have a lot of PR experience, but I knew with my content marketing, I was very confident. I know I can do this job for them. I know that it's a part-time job, so I know the competitive, really there couldn't be, I don't know what the competitive people or who else was applying for the job. But so again, to get the job at Junior Achievement, I knew I had to show them, actually give them, to this point in my career, where I need to give them ideas already. So I wanted to show them, okay, here's some things when I get hired, what I can do for you. So going above and beyond, not just applying for a job, but showing them, I need to do this work. I'm really passionate. I want this job. I'm going to do some free work for you even before you hire me. So what I did was I put together this presentation that introduced myself, very similar to my common brand name. But again, this isn't something I could do publicly. I was a social media director at GMR, so obviously my boss wouldn't be too happy if he saw me tweet, Junior Achievement, I want to work for you part-time. But so I introduced myself, showed some case studies of my work, my United Ad Workers internship. I still kind of show that as a really key networking community in Milwaukee. Showed Junior Achievement. I launched a business, just kind of showing them my passion. I can launch my own business. I created all the collaterals for the business, and then at GMR, showed them some of my work. Any NASCAR fans here? But so at GMR, one of my clients was Speed, which is now Fox Sports 1, if you watch the race on Sunday where Dale Jr. won. But as part of my work at GMR was actually going to the track every weekend, capturing content on behalf of Speed, and sharing that content to, obviously, NASCAR enthusiasts. So all that content you see on their Facebook page, Twitter account, their website, on TV, on air, because of course the main goal is to drive tune-in for Speed to get people to watch it. So we're down in the pits getting pictures of the drivers, etc. Hey, check out what's happening, go to Speed, watch it now. So I showed Junior Achievement some of the work that I do to show. At Junior Achievement, I can capture videos, tell the story of Junior Achievement. Is everybody familiar with Kenny Chesney's Blue Chair Bay Rum he kicked off last year? Kenny Chesney was one of our clients at GMR, where we created all the marketing, and we might have gone to his concert in Milwaukee where he was playing at Miller Park, where we created this ship to kind of launch the brand and had different tasting examples, and capturing content and sharing content from Kenny, of course. So again, showing Junior Achievement some of my past work, and then showing the opportunity that we have at Junior Achievement. So just me researching Junior Achievement, looking at their website, what do they need to do? How can I help them improve upon their content? So right away I gave them some free ideas. So of course when Sarah, my now boss, was looking at this, she can go through this presentation and see, oh, yep, this is exactly what we need. We don't have those resources right now in-house. We know Laura can do this, so I'm going to bring her in for an interview. So again, think of those, look at that job. This is kind of a more professional-esque presentation, kind of answer your question too, how you could put together information for knowing your audience, because I know this part of my career, I need to show them I know the work. So showing them some recommendations for Junior Achievement. Facebook, recommending it be your primary channel for user engagement. LinkedIn, channel user job awareness for Junior Achievement Wisconsin, to connect with Milwaukee area professionals, our board members, get people aware, because Junior Achievement's main goals are to recruit volunteers, recruit donors, and provide education, of course, to students. Twitter is an additional channel user for engagement, and when I got hired, Junior Achievement actually didn't have, Junior Achievement Wisconsin didn't have a Twitter account, so I created a Twitter account. I think we're up to over 300 followers here in about 3 months. So it's a great tool. I mean, just getting the people there that know how to use these tools. Blog, creating content, primary channel for driving SEO, some content recommendation for Facebook, Twitter, and blog. So here's just some of the examples that I gave them to get hired. I emailed her this presentation, and I actually sent this in August. And 2 months went by, I still didn't hear from them. So it's very important, too, to continue following up with the people that you're applying with, because you get so many resumes. Since this was posted on Big Shoes, I think Sarah got almost over 100 applications. So just remember, don't feel discouraged because you haven't heard back. Just touch base. I emailed Sarah a couple times, said, hey, I just want to make sure you got my application. I would love to come in and talk. And being persistent like that, Sarah had got the email again, and then I got the interview at Junior Achievement. Any questions right now before I kind of move on to your personal channels? Okay, who Googles their name frequently, wondering what content's out there. Definitely want to check that out and think of the content that you're posting on your personal channels. Because the first thing that employers do, the first thing that I always did when I was hiring somebody, when I got the application, the first thing I did was Google their name. So I wanted to see, does this person know content? Are they utilizing personal channels themselves? What content is huge? Are they sharing from those Twitter channels? And actually, this is a good I was just talking to Zula right before this, what not to do with your personal brand. Last week, I spoke at a New Berlin Career Day for high school students. So when you talk about your personal branding, it's very important to think, what's your Twitter handle? What's the name of your channels? What content are you posting? As I mentioned, I spoke at a career day, so right before I was starting to speak, one of the students came up and said, hey, I'd love to take a selfie with you. I said, okay. So the student came up, took a selfie, 2 other girls came running up, and he took a selfie, and I said, oh, are you going to tweet that out? He said, oh yeah, do you want me to @ you? I said, oh sure, I told him my Twitter handle, and this is what he posted. And this is what his Twitter handle is. F-U-C-K, Jose. So talk about personal branding, what you shouldn't do. So already, I mean, it's crazy. I mean, it scares me, my kids to grow up, what they're going to be posting on their social channels in high school. I didn't know what these girls were doing in front of me when taking a picture, but I was like, oh yeah, I'll take a selfie. So definitely think about what's your channels. So me looking at this person, it's very unlikely that Jose is going to get a job when he applies, because they're going to look at his Twitter account. So think about your channels, what you're posting on your channels, what your Twitter handle is. It's all very, very important. And let me go back to the show here. So developing your personal brand. Think of your personal brand as a business. Jose's example there. So here's all the different social media channels. So when I post content for brands, how the social media strategy works is you have obviously your social media channels, and if you have all these channels kind of out here in thin air, not directing to one consistent spot, all your content's gonna be all over the place. There's no strategy, and if your handles are different names. So start creating your brand now. If you haven't kind of looked at all of your channels, create new channels. So as new channels were coming out, I made sure that I got my Laura Gainor URL for all these channels. So look at these channels. SlideShare, check that out if you haven't yet. SlideShare.net, where you can create those virtual PowerPoint presentations. And with LinkedIn, you can actually embed SlideShare presentations into your profile. So that way on LinkedIn, if you want to beef up your profile, you can put some of your school presentations in your LinkedIn profile, so that way when potential employers Google you, they're actually going to see your LinkedIn profile and this content that you share. So again, create your name. If you have a common name, try and do Laura M. Gainor, your middle initial, but just try and stay away from the 1203 within your handle. Kind of keep it consistent, so that way, again, when people Google you, your social media channels are going to be the top channels that show up. So when people Google me, they're going to most likely see my Twitter account, my Facebook account. So be very aware of the content that you share, as well as it just helps you with your SEO. So create all those channels. And then Facebook I use mostly for personal use. I post 1 million pictures of my babies. And I only friend people that I know very well. It's not a channel that's for professional networking. LinkedIn, I only connect with people that I know, or that I've spoken to or met, so all of you feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn, but I like to keep it, my husband's very opposite. He connects with anybody and everybody, because it's very valuable. Where I see it is your connections are very valuable. I kind of like to keep them close-knit, so that way when someone contacts me and say, hey, Laura, I see that your first connection's with Joe Sutter, I would love to connect with you. And if I tell them, oh, actually I don't know them, I just randomly connected with them, it's not a very valuable connection. But if I can confidently say, oh yeah, Joe and I work together at GMR, here's his contact, we're very close, I know he would definitely have a meeting with you. So think of LinkedIn too as all of your peers are going to be very valuable. All of you, when you grow up, are going to have all these jobs that are actually very valuable. My husband always uses an example. He went to grad school at OU and has all these sports connections. His best friends are now working for the Denver Broncos. So you never know where your peers are going to end up. And so never burn bridges, no matter if you think they're not valuable people now. One day they could be your boss. And who here blogs? I have a personal blog. So WordPress, Tumblr, highly recommend starting a blog, because that way you can start, again, building up your content. Potential employers want to see that you know how to write, that you understand how to post content, just seeing your thoughts, your thought process. So if you're applying for an accounting job, blog about accounting. If you're wanting to go in a career in sports, start sharing content about sports, about Sunday's NASCAR race, start sharing. I love these ads during the NASCAR race. Here's my thoughts on these ads. So when you think of, okay, what am I going to blog about? really about anything. So if you had a class, here's top 5 things from Mark that I learned today. So start blogging, just creating content. I wish when I was growing up, had the opportunity to blog, so that way I could, for one, go look back at my presentations that I had done maybe in school, but all very valuable. And then Instagram, of course, photo sharing platform. Again, I kind of use it as a personal. I have mine private, just because I have my babies on there again. Just like to keep them private. And then a video channel. YouTube, Vimeo is another video channel. Start producing content. Again, Mark's top 5 tips from class today. Start sharing content to show, play around with video. If you guys have video skills, start creating short videos. Volunteer for your waitressing job that you have to start creating content for them to share on their channels. Just go above and beyond your current duties in class, your internships, your jobs, so you can kind of show them what you're doing. So as I mentioned, what are your goals with social media? What content you're going to share? Choose your URLs very wisely, which Jose did. Promote yourself as a brand. Customize your profile. So get a really nice profile picture, avatar, and keep track of your results. What I always like to do is make sure every week, like when I would go to a speaking events or go to a event where I had other young professionals, connect with one person. Try and set a goal for yourself. Like, I'm going to connect with one person a week on LinkedIn after you have a different event, a different class. And then publish valuable content regularly. And I say underline valuable because it has to be, don't just publish to publish. I know the days have definitely changed now that a lot of students are using Twitter, and sometimes it freaks me out for my kids to go to school because I see some of the stuff that is being tweeted from high schools and whatnot. But definitely try and stick to valuable content. My husband actually, after he graduated from grad school, he went on Facebook and deleted all of his college photos because he didn't want potential employers to see them. Not that they were bad, I'm sure. And then your brand identity. Choose your photo wisely. I think I heard Omar might be here. So here's just some examples of some Twitter accounts. So choose your profile picture wisely. Write your bio. Kind of show who you are. And for all of you, kind of show what your major is in school. So that way, again, when you apply for jobs, when people Google your name, they're going to look at your Twitter account and they're going to see in your bio, I love going out on Friday nights. Or they're going to say, hey, I'm an advertising major, I'm interning at X. So show as much in your bio as you can on LinkedIn, Twitter, so that way people real quickly see who you are and your passions. As I mentioned, Google yourself, what content is on there. So how to use LinkedIn effectively. Update your personal profile with a professional headshot as much as possible. And I mentioned SlideShare, you can actually embed that content into your LinkedIn profile. I'm going to just kind of walk through my LinkedIn profile. And has anybody used the feature of who's used or who's viewed your profile? Does everybody know how to do that on LinkedIn? Oh, there's Jose. All right. So LinkedIn. So again, here's your home feed on LinkedIn, all the content that you want to follow. I highly recommend following businesses, brands. Everybody know how to follow a company or brand on LinkedIn. So very simply, just go to, highly recommend Junior Achievement Wisconsin, to go to our LinkedIn profile and follow. And that way brands can now actually post content on their company profile to share with their users. And I will show you Junior Achievement Wisconsin's. So here's our company profile. And since I'm an admin of it, you'll see admin user base here. So we can post content. I got really excited since I've worked in sports. In my previous, this headline showed up on Monday after juniors' big win, perfect for junior achievement. So again, brands can post content so that way you can follow brands and see opportunities to, here's actually Cardinal Stritch. Thank you to Cardinal Stritch University's College of Business and Management for sponsoring our JA Business Challenge. So again, Cardinal Stritch blogging, getting SEO built up so that way you guys can recruit new students. So here's the content we can share, and you can actually see how many impressions, how many people are looking at your content, how many people are clicking on it. So I highly recommend following different brands that you want to apply for, that you're interested. So that way it's conversation starters too. So that way you can go into your interview do as much research as possible on LinkedIn, because when I was applying for Junior Achievement, I went to Sarah Gilday, my now boss's profile, and saw she's worked for Junior Achievement for 17 years. So in my interview, I was like, hey, I see that you've been working for Junior Achievement for 17 years. Obviously, you love this organization. Why have you been here for so long? And then same for Tim Greiner, our JA Wisconsin president. He's been here, I think, for over 25 years. So again, conversation starters. Before you go to an interview, write down some bullet points. Research people on LinkedIn and your connections, and touch base with your peers and say, hey, I see that you know Laura Gainor personally. I would love for you to introduce me before this interview. And then look for people. So when you're on company profiles, you can see how you're connected. You can see there's 67 employees on LinkedIn and how I'm connected to those employees. Because as I was interviewing, I could see I'm actually first connections with Cassie, who works there, and say, hey, I'm actually applying for this job. Do you have some tips for me as to what I should do in my interview, etc.? Where was I going with my profile? So updating your LinkedIn profile. I mentioned you can show presentations. So I put social media and content marketing expert as my main headline within my personal profile. Kind of think of those keywords too. And update your summary. Show some of your experience, whether it's your internship experience, your school experience, maybe you've been featured in different publications, the clubs you're involved with. All that is very valuable, because in sports too, potential employers want to see that you can balance school, sports, internships, other clubs. You're very involved in the community, and they know that when you get to the job, and if you're working multitasking, you can definitely do that. And I mentioned SlideShare. So here I have actually some of my SlideShare presentations embedded directly into my profile. These I would recommend updating these more often. Shame on me, but I haven't really done any in a while. So I recommend frequently doing those, because comment was like 2 jobs ago. But it's all great content. Then of course, showing your experience. Talk about some of the skills that you did. Talk about what you did for a specific position. And stats are good too. So if you helped a company grow their Facebook page by 200%, put all that information in there, whatever it may be, in your class and projects that you did. Seek recommendations. So if you're applying for a job and you have, your professor, Mark, send him a note and say, Mark, I really appreciate it if you could actually post a recommendation on my LinkedIn profile. And, obviously people that are very close, you're going to be more than willing. And these were actually 2 of my friends. Corey actually was one that had applied to comment and was involved in ad club, so he had wrote a recommendation. And intern, of course, I wrote one for him as well. So share the love amongst your peers. So my profile, internships, and the skills and endorsements is something new that LinkedIn has launched, where I'm sure if all of you log in, you see all those at the top of the page where you can actually say, hey, does Joe know online marketing? And you click endorse. I don't necessarily, it's just almost kind of annoying. And once LinkedIn kind of makes some updates, it'll be more valuable, I think, but really I'm not sure how all these people, it's great, all these people think that I'm really good at social media marketing, but really do they? Because some people don't even know me or know my work ethic, or weren't working with me as a client or as a coworker. But something, LinkedIn, when you think about social media channels, they're all trying to improve as well. LinkedIn has made some great headway in kind of competing with Facebook, and it's very professional, but of course, think about it too, when you're looking at social media channels, what could they do to do better? Because as you're thinking creatively, brands need to know that information too, or businesses that you're working for. Honors, awards, additional info. Again, LinkedIn's a great tool, because you're going to see who you're connected with, and as I mentioned, you can see who's viewed your profile, and that's a great conversation starter too, because when I was hiring people, I saw, when I was looking for good candidates, I saw, as an example, maybe Kendra looked at my profile and she's looking for a job. I said, hey Kendra, we're actually hiring at GMR. I saw that you really know social media and that you actually live in Milwaukee, because I was trying to hire a NASCAR enthusiast that lives in Milwaukee that's willing to travel. It was not easy to find. So I was researching on LinkedIn, seeing how people viewed my profile. Hey, I see that you live in Indiana. Are you willing to move to work for GMR? So continually look at who's viewed your profile. It might be very valuable. Connections, or maybe someone that you want to connect with via Twitter. So what I do too is I look at, Megan looked at my profile. I Google Megan Nyberg Twitter to look at her Twitter account because Twitter's an easier platform that you can just send a quick message, start following her, kind of see what she's like posting content about to start those conversations. Anything specific you want to show me or me to show you on LinkedIn, or any specific questions that you have on profile updates?
They have an app, correct?
I'm sorry? Oh, the iPhone app or phone app?
Yeah, there exists a link
Correct.
to that.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's a great tool to use as well. Obviously, everything's very mobile, so you can engage, you can get all the alerts that someone requested your connection, and yeah. Mark?
The two questions I get asked most, and maybe you can answer. One is, how do you make sure not to overdo it when you're looking at others, since they know that you're viewing them? And like you said before, sometimes people get creeped out. Is that an issue? And then the other side of the question is, when people invite you to LinkedIn, do you always accept or not? What do you think?
Yeah, I don't always accept. But kind of for the first topic, you can actually hide. You see this one says it's anonymous. So if you don't want people to see that you looked at their profile, you can make it anonymous or you can make it public. Like Antonio, I used to work with him at GMR. I was actually excited. I was like, oh, he looked at my profile. I haven't seen him in a while. But he didn't ask to connect. We're just second connections. So I'll make that connection. But then I don't accept everybody because, every so often I do, but then I get annoyed because usually it's someone that's trying to spam me. So someone will send me a request, and once I accept it, they're like on their emails, and 2 seconds later, like, hey, I would love for you to see my product. It's like, no, and I remove them as a connection because I want those valuable connections. So look at their profile. Obviously, I don't not accept everybody. If they're CEO of a business, obviously, I'm not going to not accept it. If I see them as a valuable connection that I would want to get to know or connect with or have as a connection down the road if I were to be looking for a job. So look at those connections, see what job they are, because if I see that they're trying to sell me something, if I know it's a business that they're going to start saying, hey, I see that your Google SEO is off, we get those all the time, so I don't want to connect with someone I know is just going to spam me as soon as I accept it. Yep.
I'm a relatively new student in the business management program for an associate's degree, and so I don't really know a whole lot about social media, and so I don't know if there's anything you can share about how to get started and what the difference is between the LinkedIn and just some general information.
Yeah, that's great. We still, don't feel behind. We have many, at Junior Chief, my colleagues, they're still just trying to get caught up because obviously someone wasn't in the organization that knew social media channels. So everyone there is trying to figure out how can I use social media. So kind of, again, think about your goals and how you'd want to use it. Think about brands that you would want to follow. Don't feel like you have to get on every single channel. You saw the little umbrella there of all the different channels. But kind of think of Twitter. I would definitely start with Twitter, just because it's something that you can engage very quickly, following brands that you know. LinkedIn is the first place to start from a professional standpoint, because you can, again, introduce yourself, start engaging with your fellow students, fellow peers, teachers, and whatnot. And think about your channels, of course. Start creating URL for each of your channels that's consistent throughout. Because even down the road, obviously, more channels are going to be developed. So start researching, and there's some different websites like Mashable, if you're familiar with Mashable. Mashable is a website that kind of just talks about social media content. So if you're just looking for tips on how to get more information about how to use social media, Mashable is a perfect place to start. It actually shares different, they've got to the point where they're sharing a lot of fun content, but so you can go on Mashable and where's the search in here. So you can search for personal branding. And it's just a media tool. They'll just have different articles, so Snapchat will be your personal alarm clock. Who are your personal heroes? So it's just a lot of content, but there's some very valuable. So resumes pack a personal punch with summary. So summary is something I haven't heard of. Obviously, there's more channels that are coming out that start following blogs like Mashable, Social Media Examiner, because you'll find out about different tools that may be valuable to you for whatever your goals are, what content you're creating. Because stuff's being created every day. Facebook, again, I say I just use it for personal because there's not much. It's getting to be where Facebook isn't valuable for brands anymore. Because even for junior achievement, it's tough for us to get our content seen. Because Facebook, with them going public and their algorithm, you're not going to see content because you might have followed junior achievement 2 years ago, But since you haven't engaged with junior achievement on a regular basis, your home feed isn't going to show junior achievement anymore, unless you kind of actively go. Use the example at GMR. We were one day just kind of, once they kind of were kicking out the new algorithm with Facebook, we started following or realizing, hey, I know I follow Chevy, but I don't see their content in my news feed. So my boss actually went unliked Chevy and then liked it again, and then 2 minutes later he saw content in his home feed. So Facebook, I mean, just think about the tools. LinkedIn is very valuable for professional networking. Facebook is getting kind of very sketchy with brands because they have to pay in order to get their posts promoted. An example, junior achievement, I get like 1 like, 75 impressions maybe on a post, but yesterday I promoted a post for this Team Achieve initiative we're doing, and it has 1,000 impressions because I'm paying for it. I paid $5 yesterday to get those 1,000 impressions, whereas normally, again, people aren't going to see your content. And for all of you, when you're looking at Facebook on your mobile, you know you're going to see your friends' pictures and whatnot, but you're not seeing any brands because Facebook now locked it where you actually have to physically go and see all recent content. But just kind of show you how brands are thinking about social.
Do you need to be cautious on who you accept on your LinkedIn account because you want to make sure that there are going to be people that are going to be, if you're spreading it out to future potential employers, right? And you want to make sure that the people that you have on yours are going to be not just casual acquaintances, but maybe people that you want recommending you.
Yeah, exactly. And it's one of those things too, it's just like you live next door to your neighbor, but you're not interacting with them, but they're there. So just like LinkedIn, I mean, their connections are there, but it's not like anybody's judging you, where there's research like, oh gosh, she's connected with this person, she must be an awful person.
But I guess that's my question. Are you judged by who you are connecting with on your LinkedIn profile?
No, not because it's not like I'm going to your profile and seeing that I'm heavily researching. I might find a person and see that you're connected to that person, so I want to contact you to get introduced to them. I mean, that's valuable, but I don't see all of your connections and judge you by the 10 connections that you have. And but how you are judged is obviously Jose's Twitter account is something public. He tweeted to me, I looked at his account, it's like, oh, I don't even want to be on his Twitter account because that's his Twitter handle. You know, those type of things you're going to be judged on. But if you're connected with somebody or you follow somebody on Twitter, I don't see that necessarily unless you're tweeting to Jose, and then I'm like, oh, why is she tweeting to Jose? You know, stuff like that. Or Jose, I hope he's not here.
Just to follow up to her question, can you talk a little bit more about the communication etiquette on the different places, the LinkedIn and Twitter?
Yep. So LinkedIn, again, LinkedIn's kind of getting more advanced where you can actually publish content. So on my home feed here, again, when you think of your audience on each different channel, your tone's going to be different. On Facebook, my tone is, here's Clara getting her first haircut. On LinkedIn, I'm not going to post, here's Clara getting her first haircut. I'm going to post, here's the top 10, here's some exciting fun share launch of Gatorade's new Tumblr page. So Kristen, I'm connected with her, and now she works for an agency that has Gatorade as a client. So you know your audience on the social media channels. You're not going to post your personal pictures from last night's party on LinkedIn. You're not going to post, here I am eating my lunch on LinkedIn, but it might be more personal on your Twitter profile or your Instagram profile, where it's like, oh, here's my friend, we're going to this event today, which could be professional too on LinkedIn, but definitely know your audience on each channel. Know that LinkedIn's kind of more professional. Twitter can get personal, but it's also be very professional. Don't post content that you wouldn't want people to know about. Always think about what you would tell somebody when you're applying for a job on your channels. But since Instagram, again, is something private, I'm a little bit more posting, here's pictures of my kids, but I don't want that stuff on LinkedIn because I know someone can publicly see it, but I keep my Instagram private, so you have to accept, or I have to accept you to follow me. Any other questions along those lines on content? I love the interaction. Thank you for the questions. Sometimes it gets very quiet. So I use Twitter effectively. Update your... Sorry, I'm starting here. Twitter is one of the best ways to network. So again, it's one of those tools where you can actively talk to people. So you can follow. Because think about it, back in when I was in high school, when I had to network with somebody, I actually had to look them up in Yellow Pages or the phone book to actually call their business. I couldn't just go on Twitter and say, I really want to follow Joe Sutter. I want to, get him to know me so I can connect with him directly. I can respond. Engaging conversations is huge on Twitter. So if you want a job and you, like Alex, kudos to Alex. Now I know who Alex is because he tweeted to me. So you can go on Twitter, you can engage in conversations, you can say, hey, great to be listening to Jay Wisconsin today, I love their content. So, and those people are automatically going to see that you've mentioned them on Twitter. Does that make sense? So if anybody that you want to follow, engage with, you want to be introduced to, you want to build a relationship, Twitter is so easy to do that. Whereas LinkedIn, Facebook's kind of challenging because you can't directly send them unless your connection's already. That's one thing too, send them a note every now and then. Excuse me, if it's somebody that you want to just stay on their radar and say, oh Laura, I loved hearing your presentation a year ago, just want to say, hey, how's the business going, blah, blah, blah. Just kind of connect regularly too, so that way you're always top of mind, because you never know, I might be working at another job where it's like, oh, I remember Alex and he was in this major, I wonder if he's looking for a job. You know, kind of keep connected too. And with Twitter, don't get hashtag happy. Use hashtags with a purpose, but of course they're always fun. I always use random ones too on Twitter. But share content that you're passionate about. Potential employees will want to see how you write. How to use a blog. I'm doing in time here. How to use a blog effectively. So here's your Cardinal Stritch blog. As I mentioned, blogs are a great platform, and I'm guilty of it. I haven't had much time to blog myself. But always when you find time, they don't have to be a long, lengthy post, but just blog something, top 5 tips again from Mark's class, or whatever that may be. They just start helping with your SEO ranking. Same with Brand. It's excellent that Cardinal Stritch is blogging regularly, just because again, when potential students are thinking about going to Cardinal Stritch, they're going to Google Cardinal Stritch and they're going to see this fun content, like, oh, I want to go to school with those guys that know how to move boxes. So you never know what content you're sharing, what's going to help you along the way. Be yourself. That's huge. And share that content on your social media channels. But kind of my tips for your career success, definitely value your education. I always kind of say, I mean, I've gone through my career and I wish I had known certain things way back when. For one, wish I had, the financial training that Junior Achievement does, and that's just not a plug for Junior Achievement, because I honestly think that. Value your education, seek opportunities to learn more. One of the biggest things I did in college was I got the internship at United Adworkers. Because again, it's an advertising group that I got in the door of 20 different agencies just because I got to be the intern that did all the crap work while I brought them papers, or I was getting coffee for people. But it was all valuable connections, because now I can say, oh yeah, Joe, way 5 years ago when I was an intern, and now I'm actually at this job and I see value in our relationship because of X. All those jobs are very, very valuable. So always go above and beyond too if you get your tasks. I remember when I was interning at BBK, I wasn't getting paid, but there was 3 other interns that were getting paid, but they got their tasks done and they sat there. So like the people that worked at BBK, they didn't even know who those interns were because they didn't go into their office and say, hey, I have some extra time. What can I do for you? But I was there 5 days a week getting paid nothing. And then when I had downtime, I was like, hey, what can I do for you? Can I help you with this? So I actually got to work on fun projects, whereas the paid interns just kind of sat there. But so definitely go above and beyond. Think about what you're doing on social media. I said that plenty of times now. All your connections, relationships are very valuable. I keep saying your peers today are going to be doing big things in their future, so they're going to be very, very valuable connections. Keep an open mind, determine your skills, and choose college classes that allow you to explore. I wish, obviously me working in social media, I didn't have social media classes in college, but think of those skills that can really help you. I wish I had done more business classes in school. I went to art school, so I was doing a lot of painting and drawing, which I wish I didn't have to do all as many electives as I did. I wish I could have had more time to do more business classes, to kind of seek those opportunities that will help you down the line. Start creating content. Again, personal blogs. Start sharing your presentations, your work, your schoolwork. I wish I had blogs when I was in college. That way I could show all the artwork that I was doing, all the nights I was staying up late, and talk about your successes in school. Hey, I was a speaker today. Even if it's just something small, I was a speaker for 5 students in high school, telling them about my college experience and so on. All right. And on that advice, I would like for you, if you want to, and we'd love for you to, but kind of think about what advice, looking at you as a college student now, what did you wish you had known in high school? What advice would you give to a high school student? What do you wish you had known back then? If you could tweet your response to our Twitter handle, JAWisconsin, of course, hashtag you've been doing this time, hashtag brand you. But I'd love to hear your thoughts as to what you can do, and you can do that now or later on. We'd love for you to do that. I'll just make sure I didn't miss any content that I wanted to show you before I go on volunteering. Is everybody familiar with Hootsuite? Our TweetDeck. But so Hootsuite, this is what I use to manage our JAWisconsin Twitter handle. So you can see all the people that I follow here from Junior Achievement. I'd recommend, I know a lot of people, obviously you're going to use Twitter on your mobile, and you can see and search for different keywords and whatnot, but Hootsuite's a good tool, especially if you're applying for a job, because I had used Hootsuite and I saw a comment branding tweet, and then I'm just curious, now what's my competition? Who else is tweeting to comment branding? So you can see, so mentions, JAWisconsin mentions, obviously the tweets that we send, and then you can search for keywords. So the keyword that I searched for is junior space achievement. So I want to see what are people that don't know our JAWisconsin Twitter handle, what are they talking about junior achievement? Obviously this is going to be globally, but that way I can kind of search for this on a regular basis and see this guy's raising money for junior achievement. If you're feeling generous, donate to help my efforts. So I can click on this and see, oh, great, this is actually a Milwaukee volunteer. I want to share this on our JAWisconsin handle. So same for you, kind of search for different things you're interested in, jobs you're applying for, see what the competition's doing, whatever it may be. And then you can search for hashtags, hashtag JABC, direct messages, Milwaukee. So I use an example too for junior achievement. When I first started, I just had various keywords set up, and I saw that a news outlet in Green Bay was asking for people that are lending a hand in the community. So I tweeted to that media outlet and said, oh, I would love to feature one of our Green Bay volunteers. So just a month, not even a month on the job at Junior Achievement, I got us a media opportunity in Green Bay, because then we had one of our volunteers featured on the news. So these tools are very, very useful if you kind of research on how to use them. Different keywords, you can find different content, Milwaukee School, etc. Any questions on different tools maybe that I use or anything like that? I'll show you that and that. Now we're kind of on the volunteering for Junior Achievement. This is my Junior Achievement plug, and I would love for all of you to volunteer with Junior Achievement. They kind of show you the value of it too, as I mentioned. Internships always help you. And same with volunteering, because all of you, when you're showing your resume, if you show that you're a Junior Achievement volunteer, as an example, it shows that you're going out in the community and you're connected with people. And not only do you connect with the students that you're impacting, but you're also looked at, and here's just some of our board of directors with Junior Achievement. So talk about when you get the opportunity to go to different events. I mentioned I got my job at Greenspawn just by going to networking events. So here's just our very full, very successful executives that are part of our Junior Achievement board. So not only are you volunteering for Junior Achievement, but there's an opportunity if we have an event that you're kind of in the room with all these people and you're starting those conversations and saying, Robert, Troy, I see that you're on the JA board. I love volunteering for Junior Achievement. Would love to connect with you. And obviously our board's going to love Junior Achievement supporters. And just kind of showing you when you think about volunteering, think about the opportunities. Because I looked at my job at Junior Achievement too. It's like, oh, I love the organization just by hearing about it a little bit. But then I also see this strong board that they have backing up Junior Achievement. I know it's an organization that when I get the job, I feel like it's a secure job. So again, a lot of research, looking at what are those conversation starters across social media channels, the board. But so our Junior Achievement website is wisconsin.ja.org. I gave you a little card that has all of our website and social media channels, and then Zua has some other brief info about Junior Achievement.
Okay, so first of all, thank all of you for being here today. And Laura just briefly talked about volunteering and the importance of that. And I know many of you have heard me talk about Junior Achievement and the many volunteer opportunities that are available. But for those of you who haven't, on that sheet, the survey at the bottom, if you would like more information about the different opportunities that are available, if you just fill that out, and I'll collect them at the end and follow up with you. I know many of the opportunities you have heard about are actually volunteering in the classrooms or at Junior Achievement with students. But if that's something that you're not comfortable with, there is a new event that we're doing. So it's still helping out Junior Achievement and volunteering. It's actually Team Achieve, so helping Junior Achievement in a different way. It's actually running a half marathon. So if you want to train for that, that's a different opportunity that I can also give you more information about. But otherwise, we do still have many classes that need volunteers. So there's always the opportunity to volunteer individually or in groups. So if any of you would like more information, just leave your contact information with me.
I have to touch on Team Achieve too. Thanks for the reminder. I'm actually one of those runners. I hate running actually, but I'm just very excited about supporting Junior Achievement. So Team Achieve is actually, all you have to do is fundraise for Junior Achievement, and we're going to send you to Seattle for the half marathon, June 21st. So we'll put you up in a hotel. We have some fun events planned in Seattle, and you'll run the half marathon. Don't let that scare you if you're not a runner. We'll have every Saturday, March, starting next week, we're starting training where we have 2 personal coaches that will help you train. It's a fun way, again, networking, getting involved in these events. You'll get to train every Saturday with a personal trainer. You just fundraise for Junior Achievement. So again, like Zua said, if you want more information, we'll get your email and so on. And I think that was all. Do you have any questions?
So first, thank you very much. Thanks very much, Laura, for all the information and sort of helping with our first foray into this area. So first, thank you. Let's clap for Laura.